And this is Karen.
Hey everybody, this is Shane.
Today we're looking at a lesson called Meat Made Out of Thin Air. And the vocabulary words are protein.
Protein.
Protein is very important for muscle growth.
Yogurt.
Yogurt.
Jamie usually eats a cup of yogurt for breakfast. I love yogurt.
Oh, me too. Powder.
Powder.
The chef added some garlic powder to the tomato sauce. Yummy.
Pale.
Pale.
Angela is wearing a pair of pale pink shoes.
Pasta.
Pasta.
Chris feels like eating pasta for dinner tonight.
Me too.
Okay, so we're talking about meat made out of thin air, and that just sounds a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, well, I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat. So I'm always looking for alternative sources of protein.
Because usually people get protein from meat, right?
Yeah, it's a really good source of protein. But raising animals for food, where we get meat from, actually it requires a lot of resources.
You're right.
Which is kind of bad for the planet because our resources are limited.
So our scientists are actually looking for alternative ways to get protein.
Right, so you can feed some microorganisms CO2, carbon dioxide, and this will end up creating a protein, like it's like the product is like a powder.
And it's full of protein.
Yeah, and it has like no flavor at all.
That's right, and then you can add this powder to any kind of your food, right? Maybe even fake meat. And then, so your body still gets the protein that you need.
Yeah, so it might sound, it doesn't have flavor. That doesn't sound good. But the good thing is you can add it to cereal. You can add it to anything because it's not going to ruin the taste of the other stuff.
So it may not sound, like, oh, it's so delicious, but you're definitely doing our environment a favor.
Yes. Okay, let's learn more about meat made of thin air.
Let's go.
Meat made out of thin air. Although meat is a tasty source of protein, raising livestock is damaging the planet primarily through the production of greenhouse gases. This has inspired food scientists to search for more environmentally friendly proteins like peas and insects. But of all the new protein sources out there, none is as interesting and surprising as the one an American company has found.
Today's lesson is called Meat Made Out of Thin Air. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I'm Mike, and the world is turning away from traditional sources of meat more and more. We're aware of the health problems that come from eating too much meat, and more importantly, I think these days, the environmental damage that can result from growing large numbers of, raising, I should say, large numbers of cows, pigs, and other things like that. But people still want some meat. They still like the flavor. They just don't like how difficult and expensive and bad it can be.
Yeah, making meat is not an eco-friendly process. Anyways, let's get started here. Although meat is a tasty source of protein, raising livestock is damaging the planet primarily through the production of greenhouse gases. So yes, that steak on your plate, it sure is tasty. It sure is delicious, but getting that steak to your plate, that is not good for planet Earth. Everything that you have to do to get that steak onto your plate is bad for the Earth. But one thing is for certain, meat is delicious and also filled with protein. Here we have the word protein. It's a noun. Protein is the stuff that your body needs in order to build muscle and to keep your muscles strong. That's what protein does. It's very good for your muscles. It's very good for pretty much anything in your body as far as growth is concerned. For example, protein is very important for muscle growth. Yes, without enough protein, you don't develop properly. You have to have protein.
All right, so we need the protein, but we don't need the environmental damage caused by raising many animals. So this has inspired food scientists to search for more environmentally friendly proteins, like peas and insects.
Whoa, insects?
Yeah, sure, a lot of protein in your bees and ants and grasshoppers and things like that, but that's often the face people have when someone offers them a plate of insects, so I don't think we'll be replacing hamburgers with bug burgers anytime soon. So we still need the protein though. But of all the new protein sources out there, none is as interesting and surprising as the one an American company has found, and no bugs are involved.
This is the meat that comes out of thin air?
This is the
Like
magic,
out of nowhere?
the magic meat that's created in a lab and not on a farm.
Well, let's learn some more about that, but before we do, let's go ahead and take a short break. But yes, don't go away. We'll be back soon.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Meat made out of thin air。什么叫做凭空制造的肉呢 ？Out of thin air 这个片语就是可以指说突然凭空出现的。那不过在这边呢，它是双关用语，使用它的字面意思。从空气中制造出来，用来呼应主题。因为我们今天的课文就是关于一家公司利用空气制造出蛋白质，很神奇吧？好，课文一开始提到，肉类是蛋白质的来源，不过饲养牲畜的过程中却会产生温室气体，危害地球。于是食品科学家就开始寻找对环境更友善的蛋白质，像是豌豆和昆虫。话说回来，应该很少人敢吃昆虫吧？但有些地方确实有什么蚱蜢料理啊，或是其他虫料理，可是好可怕哦！你敢吃吗？刚刚 Mike 老师有提到 grasshopper 就是指蚱蜢或是蝗虫，它是拼作 grasshopper。grasshopper。好，那么文中的 greenhouse gas 它表示温室气体。Environmentally friendly 表示对环境友善的。那这边还有一个单字 protein 则是指蛋白质。接回到课文中。
Meat made out of thin air. The company is called Air Protein, and as you can guess, they make protein out of thin air. To do this, they feed CO2 to microorganisms, which transform the gas into protein through a process that's similar to how milk is turned into yogurt. The end result is a powder that's full of protein. This pale brown powder has no smell and is completely tasteless. It may not sound delicious, but because it's tasteless, the protein can be added into nearly any food, from cereal to pasta and fake meat.
Okay, everyone, let's learn about this new company in America making protein out of thin air. Yeah, the company is called Air Protein, and as you can guess, they make protein out of thin air.
Wow, it's like magic. So how do you make protein, something that's normally found in meat and peas and stuff? How do you make that out of thin air? There's no protein in the air, but it's science. And what exact science? It says to do this, they feed CO2 or carbon dioxide to microorganisms, which transform the gas into protein through a process that's similar to how milk is turned into yogurt. All right, so they're making it out of thin air. That's a little misleading. They're using carbon dioxide, these microorganisms, very, very small living things, kind of like a bacteria or something like that. And these bacteria, these microorganisms, can transform or change the CO2 into protein. It's kind of like how milk gets changed into yogurt, also through the activity of microorganisms. What is yogurt? Yogurt is a dairy product. It comes from milk, but it's not quite as far, the milk hasn't aged quite as much as something that would become cheese. It's kind of right between milk and cheese. It might have a bit of a sour taste like bad milk, but it's not hard. You don't add all the salt that you add to make cheese. Yogurt is a very popular snack or breakfast food around the world. For example, Jamie usually eats a cup of yogurt for breakfast with some fruit in it, maybe some nuts, a bit of honey. Very, very healthy and good for you.
Anyways, you go ahead and you feed some microorganisms CO2, which is a part of our air. You go ahead and feed them that air, and you get meat. Well, not exactly. Okay, once you feed the microorganisms with this, the end result, after all of this, the end result is a powder that's full of protein. So is it meat? Not really, but it is full of protein, okay, and that's a good thing. Here, we have a powder full of protein, but what is a powder? Well, when we're talking about a powder, we're talking about very small, dry bits of something that you usually make by crushing something down. Yeah, very often, if you crush a rock into very small fragments, you get a powder after a long time. Yeah, powder. I like to think of powder as being like sand or salt, but even smaller. Yeah, the small grains of a powder are going to be very, very dry and very light. If you put some powder in your hand and blew on it, it would spread everywhere. That's the way that powder works. For example, the chef added some garlic powder to the tomato sauce. Yes, if you take garlic and you dry it out and then grind it down, you can make garlic powder.
Okay, so through the action of these microorganisms, the CO2 becomes this protein powder. But as you said, you can't
not really meat.
Put that on bread with ketchup and have a hamburger. That's not exactly what we want. So this pale brown powder has no smell and is completely tasteless. So even if you licked some off your finger, it wouldn't taste like steak or meat or anything like that. It would taste like basically nothing.
And it wouldn't smell either.
It's tasteless.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't smell, and it's not even red like most meat is, red or pink. It's a pale brown color, all right? Brown, you guys know what the color brown is like. Pale just means there's a lot of white or lightness to that color, okay? So we can have blue. Light blue will be just a little bit blue. Dark blue might look almost like black. So when we describe a color as pale, it's kind of washed out. It's not quite as strong or bold or powerful as that color could be. If you're making it with paint, you put a lot of white in with the blue, mix it together, then you'll have pale or light blue. For example, Angela is wearing a pair of pale pink shoes. Almost white, but there's a little bit of pink in there, definitely.
Anyways, we've got a powder.
Yes.
It's full of protein. That sounds good, but no taste and no smell.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel or seem disgusting to me, but it also doesn't sound tasty. Yeah, it may not sound delicious, but because it's tasteless, the protein can be added into nearly any food, from cereal to pasta and fake meat as well. Interesting. Anyways, here we have the word pasta to talk about. It's a noun. When we're talking about pasta, we're talking about noodles and all the different ways you can turn noodles into something that you can eat. Like in Italy there, they love their pasta. They have tons of different types of pasta. Spaghetti, linguine, fettuccine, farfalle, penne. The list goes on and on. There are so many different types of pasta that you can eat there in Italy. Anyways, for example, Chris feels like eating pasta for dinner tonight. That sounds good. I might have pasta for dinner tonight myself. Anyways, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a break. But don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
有一间公司叫做 Air Protein 空气蛋白质，他们用空气制造出蛋白质。那怎么做的呢？他们是拿二氧化碳来喂食微生物，微生物就会把这种气体转化为蛋白质，而这个转化过程呢，就类似牛奶变成优格的那一种方式。最后它得到的结果不是肉哦，而是一种富含蛋白质的粉状物质。这种粉末是淡褐色的、淡咖啡色的，闻起来、尝起来都没有味道。这听起来好像不太好吃，可是就是因为它没有味道，所以几乎可以加到任何食物当中。像你可以加到麦片啊、意大利面食或是假的肉都可以。来看这个段落用到4个单字 ：yogurt 表示优格 ，powder 表示粉末。那 Jeff 老师在解释 powder 这个字的时候，有用到 fragment 这个字，它是拼作 fragment，fragment 表示碎块、碎片。下一个单字 pale， 它可以用来形容这个颜色是淡的、浅色的，也可以用来形容人看起来是苍白的。好，那么 pasta Pasta 它是意大利面，可是记得它是意大利面食的总称，是不可数名词。那意大利面食分很多种啊，像我们熟悉的直面条称为 spaghetti， 长得就像我们的油面，还有 linguine。是细面、扁面，长得像那种意面、阳春面那一种。Fettuccine 是宽扁面，长得就像我们的板条。还有 farfalle 是蝴蝶面 ，penne 笔管面。好，再来看补充单字 microorganism。microorganism 它表示微生物，它的字首这个 micro 就是指微小的。接回到课文中
Meat made out of thin air. One great thing about this process is that it uses up much fewer resources than livestock. But the most amazing thing is that it has a net zero carbon footprint. Who would have thought that eating meat could actually help the planet instead of hurting it?
Are you in the mood for some tasteless and scentless light brown powder?
I think something more would have to be done to it before I'm ordering it off a menu. But I'm very interested.
You like the protein part of it?
I definitely like the protein part. I like the fact that it's good for the environment. And hey, if we can help the environment, leave the cows alone, but still have a nice hamburger, that would be great. It says one great thing about this process is that it uses up much fewer resources than livestock. Absolutely. Livestock, cows especially, eat a lot of grain, take a lot of water, and produce a lot of greenhouse gases. So we could do without all that trouble. But the most amazing thing is that it has a net zero carbon footprint. No greenhouse gases are produced. In fact, no damage to the environment is done by making protein in this way.
So it's good for the cows, it's good for the livestock, it's good for the farm animals, and then it's also good for planet Earth. Yes, when you make this, you release zero carbon. Yes, this has a net zero carbon footprint. How about that? Yeah, who would have thought that eating meat could actually help the planet instead of hurting it? Really makes you think. All right, folks, that's it for our lesson today. But before we go, we do have the what do you think question to ask and to answer. Mike, do you think this new protein powder can help stop climate change? Why or why not?
I think it could help, but only if several things do happen. First of all, it has to look, smell, taste, and cook like real meat. Second of all, it has to be able to produce meat in large amounts because, you know, people eat meat a lot. And also, it would have to be affordable, right?
Sure.
You have to do it so that you can actually afford these whatever burgers they're going to call them, and they're not super expensive because then people just won't switch over.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So a lot of things have to work out. But if they do, hey, why not? Why could this not help stop climate change? All right, folks, with that, today's lesson has now come to an end, and it's time for us to say science.
Science.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
刚刚说的这一种空气蛋白质，它的制造过程所消耗的资源比牲畜少很多，那它是近零碳足迹。好 ，carbon footprint 就是指碳足迹，那么 net zero carbon footprint 就表示近零碳足迹。好，那顺便补充一下，麦克老师提到说，如果它这种蛋白质的味道可以弄得像肉。可以大量制造，又可以让大家负担得起，这样也许人们就会不吃肉，愿意改吃这种对环境友善的蛋白质了。那老师用到 affordable 这个形容词 ，affordable 就表示负担得起的。好，那么以上是这个讲解，同学们别走开，马上回来哦。大家好，我是 Hanny， 欢迎收看我们的文法单元。今天要介绍文法重点有4个，第一个是 of all 加上 the 加名词，第二个是 none 加 be 动词 as 形容词原级 as 加上名词，第三个是 would have 加过去分词，第4个是 instead of。好，我们先来学 of all the 名词。Of all the 名词就表示 在所有什么什么之中，在所有什么什么当中，那它常常会搭配最高级的句子一起使用。举例来说 ，Of all the steakhouses in the city, this one is my favorite。在这个城市所有的牛排馆当中，这一间啊是我的最爱。好，接着来学 none 加 be 动词加上 as 形容词原级 as 加上名词。None 这个字当代名词的时候，它是指没有一个，像是没有一个人或是没有一个事物。那当主词的时候，它可以搭配单数动词或是复数动词。好，那当我们用句型 none 加 be 动词加上 as 形容词原级加上 as 再加名词的时候，它的字面意思是没有一个人或是没有一个事物像什么什么一样怎么样。那就是说，某人或某事物就是最怎么样的。这个句型啊，它是用否定词 none 来搭配原级比较，去表达出最高级的意思。像 Of all the land animals, none is as large as the elephant。在所有陆地上的动物里面，大象的体型是最大的，没有一种陆地动物像它一样大。好，接着我们来学 would have 加上过去分词。情态助动词 would 后面加上 have 加过去分词，这表示原本打算要怎么样，本来要怎么样，但没有怎么样。那常常会用在跟过去事实相反的假设句里面，像是 If he had been friendlier, that girl would have gone on a date with him。如果他更友善一点，那个女孩就会跟他约会。那个女生本来打算跟他约会的哦，可是看到他拽个258万，白眼都翻到后脑勺去了，是在 Hello。好，另外补充一下 ，Who would have thought 加上 that 怎么样怎么样，就可以表达说谁会想到怎么样怎么样，这可以用来表达对某事非常惊讶。举例来说。Who would have thought that they would fall in love and get married？ 谁会想到他们会坠入爱河还结婚啊？那个女生跟那个258万，好，算了。好，我们最后来学 instead of。片语介系词 instead of 后面接名词或动名词，表示取代什么、代替什么，而不是什么什么。像是 He decided to walk home instead of taking a taxi。他决定走路回家，而不是搭计程车回家。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们下次见喽，拜拜。
我是 Holly。
Hey everybody, I'm Shane.
哎呦，你这很难相处哎，在那边。
Sorry, what's the topic today?
你很难相处。
我还是他？
你啊，你
应该是他吧，不是我。
哦 ，OK， 这是今天的 topic， 我们直接进行对话。
他很难相处，不是我，
是你。
Frank is so rude. What's his problem? Does he hate me or something?
Don't take it personally. He's impossible.
Gosh, he's so weird. Oh my God. It really is impossible.
OK， 所以我们说 impossible 不是说它不可能，
它是不可能的。
不是，因为它后面其实还有再接另外一个句子，叫做 He's impossible
to get along with.
Yeah， 所以其实他很对 get along with 就是跟他相处。
对，就是不可能跟他相处，因为他真的很不好相处。
对，那还有什么替换方式呢？
啊，你也可以说 He's hard to get along with.
OK， 所以其实这就更直接了嘛，就是他真的很难相处 ，hard 就是很难。
对，所以其实 He's impossible， 你可以就说 He's impossible， 然后我们就知道 to get along with。
后面要接什么？
对，那个可是你真的不可以说 He's hard。
不行，
他们在说 He's hard， 我们真的听不懂。
对，
说他很 hard 吗？
不是，不能直接说这两个，他要整句一起讲完。
He's hard to get along with， 或者是你可以说 He's such a pain。
哦，它是一个疼痛点吗？
就是 a pain in the neck。
OK， 所以你就把它想象成就是你身体上哪个部位脖子很痛。
He's a pain in the butt。
哦，屁股痛啊，不管哪里痛，它就是一个。
对，就是它让你就是你会感觉
不舒服。
对 ，He's just a pain。
对。
We don't think you're a pain at all.
No.
Right? And hopefully you don't think we're a pain.
Yeah, hopefully we're, great to get along with.
Yeah, I think we're pretty easy to get along with.
Yeah.
So if you have any trouble with your English,
考我们就对了。
就对了，很好相处哦。
Yeah.
He's impossible. He's impossible to get along with.
He's impossible. He's impossible to get along with.
He's hard to get along with.
He's hard to get along with.
He's such a pain. He's such a pain in the neck.
He's such a pain. He's such a pain in the neck.